Hello, good morning. Today we will be converting degrees to radians and radians back to degrees. So right now I have set up a few problems. I started working on number 1 and I have 2 pi over 3 and we want to turn it into degree mode. So what I like to do is I like to divide 180 degrees divided by 3 is equal to 60 degrees. And I times that 60 times the numerator here equals 120 degrees, and that's the answer for number 1, 120 degrees. Now let's do number 2. The same thing, 180 degrees divided by 6, which equals to 180 divided by 6 is equals to 30 degrees times that times 5, which is the numerator, and you get that the answer is 150 degrees as your answer. And then try to solve number 3 by yourself, and I'll give you the answer in a couple of minutes. (180 degree divided by 4 is equal to 45 degrees times that by the numerator, which is 3, and you get the answer is 135 degrees. Of course, you can look at the unit circle for the answers, but I'm teaching you guys how to solve it by hand. Degrees to radians and radians back to degrees. Now let's move on to the next problems. Can you solve these problems on your own? I'll work 4 and 5 for you, and I'll give you a couple of minutes to work on numbers 6 and 7 by yourself. So again, the same thing. 180 degrees divided by the denominator equals 45 times that times the numerator and equals 495 degrees. 180 divided by 3 times it 8 equals 480 degrees. I'll give you 10 minutes to work on problem 6 and 7. Here are my answers for problem 6 and problem 7. For problem 6, I got 450 degrees. And for problem 7, I got 840 degrees. The reason why I didn't put this in negative 840 degrees is because 1, degrees are positive values, and also when I divided 180 degrees divided by the negative 3, because the negative corresponds to both numbers, the numerator and the denominator, I got negative 60 degrees, quote unquote, times the negative 14. Negative times the negative is a positive. Now let's continue with some other problems, and I'll let you guys go. Now we're going to convert degrees to radians, and how I do that is real simple. I put 210 degrees as the numerator, and I divide it by 180. And I add the pi, times it times the pi. And then I reduce 210 degrees over 180 degrees. So 210, make a side note here, or 180. We know that 3 times 2 is 6, times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60, times 3 is 180. Now 210, we have to find the factors of it, which is 7 times 3 is 21. 21 times 5, 105 times 2 equals 210. So 7 times 3 times 5 times 2 is equal to 210. 3 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 3 is equal to 180. Now we cancel out the numbers that are the same, bottom and top. 2, 2, 5. And we're left with 7 on top. And 2 times 3 is 6 on the bottom. And we times it times the pi. So 210 degrees is actually 7 pi over 6 as the answer. Now I'll work number 2 the same way. 240 degrees over 180 degrees times it times the pi. 240 over 180. We know that 3 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 3 is 180. Now we have to solve for 240, which is 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 is 20, times 2 is 40, times 2 is 80, times 3. 80 times 3 is 240. I'm right here. Now we cancel the numbers that are the same top or bottom. Cancel 5. This cancels. The 3 cancel. Now I'm left with 2 times 2 is 4 as the numerator. And the denominator, I have 3. So I have 4 over 3. Times it times pi, and you get 4 pi over 3. So 240 degrees is actually 4 pi over 3. Now, number 3, which is 180 degrees. Well, that's easy. 180 degrees divided by 180 degrees is 1. So 1 times pi is actually pi. Pi is your answer for number 3. And I have another problem here. Number 4, 900 degrees, for you to solve on your own. Now the answer for the 900 degrees, we're going to go back to how we were solving these. Oh, no, wait. No, it's the same one. It's the same. Sorry, I confused you guys. So 900 degrees again, divided by 180, and times it times pi. And you should get 5 pi as your answer. 900 degrees is equal to 5 pi. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.